Welcome everyone, thanks for stopping in. Here I'll cut a cover for the gearbox. I want it to follow that outside line and then extend further down the body of the gearbox. So I can put a couple mount screws in there. So the bore for the shaft and for the inner bore of the gearbox will be offset or eccentric. I started by centering the rotary table with the spindle using the test indicator. Then I centered the chuck to the rotary table, also using the test indicator. Then I centered the work into the chuck. Then I moved the x-axis and drilled the bore. Then I moved the workpiece in the chuck to offset it. Realigned it with the center of the bore using the gauge pin and the test indicator to the spindle. I used the dial indicator as a pointer to the center line, so when I made the offset of the workpiece in the chuck, I kept it parallel with the x-axis. Now I'll use a 4-flute end mill to make the eccentric cuts around the outside of the cover. So we'll have a shoulder that goes inside the bore, and the shaft can come through the center bore, leaving the eccentric part of the cover down along the body, room for a couple of mount screws there. Now we'll make our moves with the X and Y axes of the table and of course the rotary table. So we'll get rid of the test equipment and give that a shot. Okay, so here we'll go down about 25 thou. Start cutting. We'll rotate around on our eccentric center line. Appears to have hit the mark where we want it to. Go down another 25 thou. We want that shoulder to be 50 thou. Bring that around. Okay, there's a bit of a burr around that top edge there. Let's bring the cutter back over top of the edge a bit, about 5/10 thou. We'll bring it back down to 0, and we'll take that around and remove that burr off the top of that shoulder there. Yeah, that seems to have done it. Okay, we'll get her centered back to 0 degrees. Bring our table back. Now we want to go all the way out to the outside edge where we're going to cut the eccentric body part of the cover. So we'll bring that down on 100 thou. We want the cover to be 100 thou thick. Okay, and we'll bring that around to 90 degrees. We'll lock the rotor table and we'll move our y-axis and make that side cut. Okay. Bring it back around to 0 degrees position. Get our y-axis centered again. Check that. Looks good. Okay, now we'll go back around the other side to 90 degrees. Get our table set there, lock it down, move our y-axis the other direction, and make our side cut. Right, get our table back to 0 degrees, y-axis to 0, check that, that looks good. Yeah, that appears to have done what we wanted. Lift our cutter up out of the way. Check that burr off the top there again. Okay, gauge pin in, test fit the gearbox to the cover. Yeah, fits down nice, shaft goes in. It's a little tight, that's good though, we want it tight. Perfect. Get the eccentric set just right, and then the shaft, everything fits good. Alright, let's take it over to the lathe and we'll part it off. Using WD-40 for lubricant there. I got the cutoff blade extended about half of what we need there just to start with. Get that cut started in there good. Adding some lubricant as we go. Seems to be cutting well. Alright, let's check that. Looks good. Now we need to extend our blade enough to finish the cut. A large part of the eccentric towards the holder. Move the blade in a little bit past the center mark. We're going to drop our holder down a bit, bring our cutting edge back to center. Alright, get her back in the groove, and let's part it off. Should be getting close now. There she goes. Clean that off. Yep. Okay, here we'll fit everything together and have a look at that. Fits nice and snug like we wanted. Shaft comes through good. Looks real nice. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Leave a comment. Ask a question. Please like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.